I'm in charge of council. I'd like to say before we carry on, that I hope you're all coming tomorrow morning. There's a brunch event. Olive brunch, we've got 7 choirs we're going to sing to you and each other. To raise some funds for most charities. You're very welcome to come and help. And that's 10 till 12. So, I know some of you work in company, but you're very welcome. Okay, a couple of things. First of all, if you don't understand, you don't have to stand, it's up to you, but you have to raise your hand to get my attention. I have to speak clearly because of the owl thing. There are technical issues which obviously they're trying to resolve about the technology. So what we're doing is posting our full council meetings on the YouTube channel and people can see it after the meeting. Any apologies for absence?
We have received apologies from councillors Stanley and Richmond.
Thank you. Can someone propose to accept those? Thank you, Councillor Morgan. Second, thank you very much. All those in favour? Very much. Declaration of interest.
Yes, and Crier and member of the Wimborne Militia.
Simon.
I'm chair of the Fake Festival and Dan Master of the Town Down.
Okay, anybody else?
Well, thank you, Chair. I wonder whether I need to declare that I'm part of the folk festival, should I? Yes, I suppose there are all sorts of committees that are member. Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
There's no, well, we've got our inspector here, but there's no public here as such, so we're going to item 5. And we'll start off with Adam, who's are you an inspector?
I am, yes.
You're going to report for us?
Yeah, so I'll just go over where we are from a policing perspective in the local town. So I'll give you some figures here. We need to bear in mind that some of our figures I can't abstract purely from Wimbledon town. It covers East Dorset. So there are some that I can do, some I can't do. But overall, the picture is looking very good, generally speaking. Criminal damage, compared to last year, we're down on, but if you think this year to date, across the whole of East Dorset, we've had 293 criminal damages. Yet the highest was back in, our most recent in the past 5 years were 21-22, and we were 356. So that number's come down quite considerably for in comparison to the percentage number. Dwelling burglaries, we have seen a slight reduction on dwelling burglaries to where we were last year by 1. However, if we look back to 22-23, we were at 162. So dwelling burglaries is about people coming into your home per se. And some of those can include breaks to garages where your garage is attached to your house. So some of those could be garage breaks, not necessarily ones that your personal space in so much as you're inside your main home has been targeted. So they're quite different. Although as a victim of crime, I'm sure we would feel like somebody that's coming where they shouldn't be. In relation to our public order offences, a lot of that really relates to our antisocial behaviour and the issues that we see around the town and around East Dorset. Our highest point in 21-22, we had 208. This year, we're at our lowest point of 164, and we're down 18% on last year as well. In relation to general theft, we're down 2% on last year. However, theft last year hit a bit of a high, and we're now in a position where we're trying to bring it back down. And a lot of that comes from, we can include theft from motor vehicle within that. We know there's been a spike across the whole East Dorset around that, and we all know all too well, unfortunately, shopliftings that we've been having in town. So in relation to the shopliftings in town specifically, because that is a figure that I can get just for the town, is we were averaging, when I arrived, we were averaging 17 reported shopliftings a month within the town. I know that was significantly higher. However, it's also relative. We did loads of work through the summer period, doing our best to try and look at the main criminals that were taking part in this shoplifting. We targeted the house that they were going back to. We put a partial closure order on in conjunction with the council. And we prevented and prohibited people from going back to that place so they can sleep and live there. That has displaced some of them. One of those went to prison. We eventually got a conviction in August for him, start of August, and he got 37 weeks. Regrettably, he was out within 2 months. So try as we might as police to put them in front of the court for them to take the action that we want them to, unfortunately, because the prisons are so crowded, they are letting them out early. We understand that he's not back in the area at this point, but we are aware that he could quite easily come back because some of his friends are still living in the area. But what I would say is in the past 31 days, we've had 3 reported shopliftings. Now, again, I appreciate that that is underreported, but there's a significant distance from where we were when I first started here into the kind of summer period into July, where we were averaging about 17. Over the past, and actually since he's been in prison, so over the past 3 months, we've had just 10 shopliftings reported across the whole of those 3 months. So we are consistently down back to what we would call normal figures for policing. We also, like I said, we accept that shops don't always report. In a climate where time is money, sometimes it's easier for shops to not report it. I would urge you to report it, or the shops to report it. So if you have anything to do with shops, do report it, because as soon as we know about it, we can start dealing with the problem. In addition to support the town in the shoplifting and the antisocial behaviour that we've seen associated with those people, types of people, we've been running something called OpTrack. OpTrack is a national hotspot policing initiative. Wimborne is one town in my area, one of 2 towns in my area. So I've got North Dorset and East Dorset. So I've got my main towns are Wimborne and Blandford. Both of those are what we call OpTrack areas. Some larger towns obviously naturally will attract more people, therefore more antisocial behaviour, and it's designed to drive that down. What we have done is provide that visible presence since I think it began here in about April time, and since so in the past month we've carried out 53 foot patrols lasting on average 52 minutes each, and amounting to 2,771 minutes of foot patrol in the town centre, which is a significant amount. And then in the past 90 days, we've done 7,202 minutes, and they were on average, we've sort of been doing 42 minutes. So about 6 weeks ago, I said that I wanted our time on the ground to be longer. I wanted to be visible for longer in an area, because actually the evidence shows that the longer you're around it, obviously, the more crime that can be deterred. So it's about being visible as much as we possibly can. To support that, what we are also doing is we're doing enhanced patrols. We've got a plan for the winter period. We've got an enhancement for the Christmas period coming. And one of the sergeants, Jane, I don't know if any of you know Jane, she has done all the rotas for who's going where and doing what in relation to the foot patrols in the town. So we've got all that planned through. When January comes, we will revisit that plan, because obviously we know that the town's becoming busier in December time, and then what we risk is an increase in shoplifting for everyone. I've mentioned the house that we put a partial closure order on. That has now expired. What I would say is, if you get any reports from sort of local residents, etc., or notice anything significant about antisocial behaviour and our regular people within the town, please report it, because we're not starting from scratch. What we can do is bring back old evidence, put it back in front of the court, so we can do the same again. And then I think you'll probably see more firm action beyond the partial closure. So again, the more we know, the more we do with that information. Recently, in fact, not last week, the week before, on our off-track patrols, which covers the town and its outskirts, a couple of our cops were walking past, so Kev and a colleague who normally covers Burwood, were walking past the house, smelled a really strong smell of cannabis. When knocked on the door, the smell was so strong, they arrested the occupant at the door on suspicion of possession. They entered and carried out a search of the property and located a cave of cannabis dealing and other drug dealing that's been taking place. They were making cakes, putting them in special pots, having them labelled up like Jaffa cakes, looked exactly like a Jaffa cake, but laced with cannabis. And there were vapes and all sorts of things that had the cannabis within them. So really good piece of work there. That person is now on bail. So we're looking to secure conviction with relation to him. So they're out there doing what they can. What it's fair to say is that cannabis and the way that it was packaged up is my concern is that that would have reached our children within our local schools. And that can have a massive effect on them. So a really good piece of work, and that's through the on-track patrols, making sure that we are going around the town and just being alert to what's around us. So it's really good stuff. Today, we've also got, we've got a drugs initiative today. I've been running one up in the north of the county this morning, and then this evening, from about 2 o'clock this afternoon, we've had a drugs operation running in the town to deal with some of those people that we may well have already spoken about, to target those people that are causing or having the biggest effect on our communities. Not to mention that what we've also done is picked off ones that we know are affecting our children. So we're making sure we're getting the ones that are having the biggest impact. And we've got teams out and about as we speak now. So touch wood, we'll go on.
Thanks, John. Can I just start with a question? Last week, we all met under the special meeting about youth service provision and how we might improve that. And one of the youth workers said that they know that a lot of the dodgy stuff in the toilets of Red Cross. So presumably you know that. How do you deal with that?
So a lot of what we do, so it's around hotspot patrols, is trying to find out when those times are that these things are happening. Because if we go up at any time of day, we're not going to get the rewards that we want. So we have to time it right, and it can be a bit of a fine art, especially when you're fluorescent as well. So what we do is we try to take on that information and then we build a bigger picture to try and deal with those people as best we possibly can. So I know that Steve is aware of those issues. We are working on those issues, and hopefully we'll come to some resolution at some point soon.
Thank you. Any questions?
If I'm off track, are the patrols in the town centre, or are you going out to the new estates?
So off-track is it's a designated specific area by the government, and that's done on statistics. So though, when it was drawn up early this year, so they do it once a year, the information intelligence were telling us that it was the town centre, and it gave us parameters. So it was just the slight outskirts of the town and what was within. We've also got key locations that we go into, and they are hotspot premises that have had issues over a period of time. So no, it doesn't go out as far as that. What we did have prior to in fact, up until probably July, August time, in East Dorset, I was 60% down on my staffing, which was having a real impact on me being able to deliver for everybody. We have got everybody back fighting fit, and we're out in the communities. In addition to that, what we are getting is the neighbourhood uplift guarantee, which is coming from central government. And I'm getting 3 extra cops in East Dorset, and I'm getting 3 extra cops in North Dorset. So in North Dorset, I'm doubling my police officers, And in East Dorset, I've got 5 at the moment, I'm going up by 3. So you'll be getting another one in Wimbledon Town. We'll be looking to put one over towards Portmullen and over at Marshall. And then we'll have one covering sort of in really between Burn and here. So it's a really positive picture. In addition to that, knowing that we've got those staff coming, what we are doing, I know that everybody represents other areas as well and has interest everywhere else, is within East Dorset, we are also, so I've taken the op-track model, and I'll do the same for, the same being done for North Dorset as well, where our towns that don't fall within op-track, we are developing hotspot patrols in those areas using the same technology to assist us. And our sergeants are putting together plans to make sure that we are out there as best we can, and we're really targeting the problems. In addition to that, it's really, a lot of the time, a lot of people will say, we don't see the police where we live. I'd argue that can be quite a good thing. It means you live in, generally speaking, a very nice area. But if you were to look out of your window and the police officer's already gone past, you're not going to see them. So one thing we weren't doing well on was making sure our social media reach was as wide as it could be. So they've now been given, basically set them targets of what they need to do on social media so that people know that we are. There'll be regular complaints that we don't do certain things, and we're not showing the public we're doing that, so we can't refer back to it. It's a lot harder to do and to prove. So it's about making people feel like they are being policed in their area, and it's important that they feel that policing presence.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Councillor Bartlett.
Thank you. Hello. Are you aware that the Cook Road toilets have been vandalised twice in the last month?
I'm not personally. Okay. I'm sure the team will be, because I know that they look at the crimes each day. I will have to go back and double check on that. I don't have the information.
Okay, so through the chairman, I've met an officer today. They've been vandalised twice. Fortunately, it's predominantly graffiti this time round. But obviously the request is going to come in if you could do a bit more patrolling in that area. I think it's at night. It looks like it is children. I got great reluctance. That's with my ward colleague about having the toilet closed at night, locked up, due to the fact we've got such a lifetime economy.
Yes.
Otherwise, the natural habits of individuals will be done in shop doorways rather than in the toilet. So then we'll get complaints from the retailers in the town. Yeah. And then the consequence then of somebody being prosecuted for indecent exposure in public, obviously. So we're really, from a Dorset Council point of view, keen to keep the toilets open all night long because of its lifetime economy too. Yeah. So I'd appreciate, I know your budget's stretched, but if you could put a presence in there, because that might be just sufficient to make the children move on somewhere else. Basically.
Absolutely, completely agree. And ultimately, it sounds like it's getting a bit of a hotspot. It's been damaged twice in quick succession. I've got no issues with putting some efforts into that to try and resolve that problem.
Thank you.
You say that's Cook Road?
Cook Road, it's right the same thing.
Yeah, well, thank you. I have a very detailed data-driven report. Thanks very much. Good comment of coverage. Thank you. Welcome to stay, but you're welcome to go.
I will shoot on. That's okay. That's okay. Very long day. But thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. And thank you. If you need anything, just send me an email. I think most of you got my email.
I can pass it on.
Yeah, if you could, that'd be wonderful. If you need anything, if you've got any concerns, please just raise it. It makes a lot more easier for us to be able to deal with it and also reassure our receive as well. All right. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Thank you. See you later. It's supposed to be there on Saturday night as well for the switch on. Yeah. I'll be around on the patrol on Saturday night. I'll see you then. Take care.
Okay, so ward councillors, Councillor Barker, have you anything to report?
The vandalism on the toilets was just having Cook Road, but fortunately, at the same time, the police have been quite positive around that. The only other thing to report is obviously the consultation for the local plan came to an end on the 31st of October. We had to extend it due to problems that the company were using had issues with their the technology there, and it appears that we've had around about 9,000 consultation responses, which is large for that type of consultation, although again, it's disappointing when you consider the population in Dorset is over 350,000, but in a local government consultation exercise, 9 pages is a pretty good result actually. So the officers will now sit through that, ready for, as I've explained before, they'll sit through that and take the sites that aren't viable, that won't come forward. That will then go to Cabinet in June, full council in July, in all probability, and then we go to a short consultation in August, where there's a short consultation period again as part of the statutory requirement to deliver a local plan. That will be conducted in August next year, and we're still hoping to submit the plan for examination in December 26.
Thanks for that. So Councillor Morgan is ill, but he's done a little very detailed short report saying he wrote to Kevin last week about an update on the Stone Lane crossing and a possible crossing of Wimborne Road to send that to Kevin. Also, a resident on Julian's Road requested a 20-mile/hour limit on the road, also pedestrian crossing by the Riverside development. I think these have all come through the planning and environment. Yeah. Okay, should we just go around the table? Shall I start with Mayor? So I think I'm successful Remembrance Day service here. I thought it was quite respectful and no issue. There was a meeting and no rush at all. On Armistice Day, we also had a small ceremony that's very well organised by Gary and other people. I've been doing various things as the Mayor, going out to various occasions, and I'm looking forward to switch on lights on Saturday. Roger.
Nothing to report. Actually, yes, sorry, Chair. Fair Trade Committee. We have distributed stickers to the shops in town that stop fair trade items so we can advertise them at the front door. So that was very positive to go around and talk to some people.
Thank you. Councillor Trim.
No.
Okay. Nothing for that, Councillor Morgan.
I think everybody will know that Wimborne bid have been given another 5 years, but I don't think that's officially been mentioned in this forum. So yes, we have another 5 years of Wimborne.
Right.
Thank you. Walford Mill AGM is coming up a little bit later this month, next month, sorry. And the militia have done well representing the town again, out and about. I've done quite a lot. So,
No, just proud to put the viewers on the green for last post. Really enjoyed that gig. It was very well organised from what I saw anyway. From the saw about it. And we're looking forward to the switch on Saturday.
Right, Councillor Roberts.
Wimborne in Bloom. The only thing to tell you is that I know a lot of people in the town think that the display this year was very, very good, especially the begonias, which we thought we'd be able to dig up and keep some, but they're not the ones with bulbs, they're just ordinary ones. The only other thing is the Wine and Wisdom evening, which is in March. I think I'm not quite sure what the date is, but that is usually a very enjoyable evening, and I suspect that some of us will be putting a team together, so that's about the only thing.
Monday morning, see them all out there. Clear up the weekend really, in many ways, so you deserve our congratulations. Councillor Hector.
Yeah, did in the beginning of November, we did another speed watch, and like the report from Councillor Morgan, that does mean now that the data that we've gathered since starting there on Cranbourne Road is now sort of coming to fruition. There's some things happening now, which is the purpose of why I was doing that. So quite pleased that it has, well, wait until it happens, but it's looking good. Safe places, we had sort of the stickers, the window stickers delivered. So things are progressing with that now. Dorset Council, Councillor Andy Todd has gotten that part approved. So me and Louise are working on the next steps, which are signing people up and get it going. And last Tuesday, I couldn't attend our full council because I was invited as councillor to speak to the Brownies, 7 to 10-year-olds. and it was in Wimborne, it was very, very rewarding. They are so switched on, so bright, and it was a real privilege, like, to speak to them. They did a bit on laws. The week before, they had 2 teddy bears, one to sit in the House of Lords and one in the House of Commons and vote, and it was very sweet. So I was speaking to them about all the things we do at Wimborne, and some of their ideas were just brilliant. So it was very nice.
It's quite disarming with very young children to say, like, I was in school this week, and the child said, why are you screwing your eyes up? No, I'm not breaking it. Just what I think, right? Councillor Jones,
Nothing to report, thank you.
Councillor Chucklewater.
We met as the Wimborne Folk Festival group on Monday just to discuss plans for next year.
Councillor Bartlett,
Nothing to report, Chair.
okay. You want to?
Can I just report that we will be showing the appendix of all these civic events that the town mayor and deputy town mayor attended. So just to note that this will come on as an appendix for the minutes for this meeting. So it's from the start of the municipal year all the way through to this month. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 6, 4 council minutes, 28th of October, 18th of November. Councillor Nash,
Happy to propose we accept.
opposed, councillor Lewis seconding, all those agreeing everything that's accurate record? No. We are. Okay, then item 7 is committee minutes and working group notes. Got a list there, you can note those. Anyone can waive anything important minutes?
Can I
Yes, okay.
go? A couple of them were not ready in time, so we'll have to defer them. So there's a couple of appendices missing. I think they included a meeting of rec and leisure and a youth forum, so we'll come to subsequent meetings.
And the youth council went pretty well, several people there. Right,
Yeah, it's about the youth council. I think there's a typo there through page 2, climate. I think it's missing something.
Okay.
And did we get a note from Emma about she was due to attend that, wasn't she? Youth council, yes, do we know?
Well, it was covered at the meeting and it's,
yeah, we got them to do some, we were there, we got them to do some brainstorm that time.
Yeah.
So we thought I'd try to really, you said a few words.
Yeah.
Okay,
So just quickly for the record, the three meetings that were in there was Sports and Leisure Forum from the 17th of November, I think they're too soon. The Rec and Leisure from the 4th of November, Finance and Governance from 18th of November, is for reference.
Councillor Nice, John said anything about the finance government committee that was quite long last week.
No.
Yeah. Good. Again, the opportunity.
You, no.
We've got another one for okay, so just noting those. Over the page, there are new recommendations from the council standing committee steering groups. Going to the cemetery, item 9, to note the activity report for October 2025 and to date. To consider tree work report, appendix 17. Anyone want to comment on that report before we close it? Councillor
Yeah, I see that point 3, which talks about £1,694 for the tree works, specifically mentions 4 trees, number 76, 83, 127 and 135. But further down, in terms of individual activity, there are 7 trees. So I don't really know whether 1,694 refers to just the 4 or really all 7. I'm slightly confused.
Thank you.
it refers to the four that need the work.
Okay, is there any reason why we're not throwing in doing the other 3 that have been singled out for needing work? I mean, all of them were within 12 months, so I didn't really see why we've got 2 sort of like lists there.
Let me just pull the report up, sorry. So it is tree number 127, 76, 83, and 84, and 135 and 161,
Level 62 on
and
it.
162, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those have been identified as the ones that need work. If you know, if you're proposing to go back and say you're a quote for all the work.
I mean, personally, I don't see why we would do it in two tranches. Makes no sense to me, but, if we need to progress on certain ones imminently, then yeah, we'll have to go that way. But it feels to me that if we call people out twice, it's gonna cost more.
Is it because of the budget limit that work at this time?
No, I think the reason why they were pulled out of the report as the ones that needed action sooner than later. And the other work, and this is in line with the other tree survey, is that the grants team are monitoring all the other trees that have been highlighted but are not as an urgent response.
Okay, so you've got like a sort of. No? Councillor Roberts.
Can I ask, are they within the curtilage of the cemetery or are they on the boundaries?
They're within the site of the cemetery, they're ours, they're, yeah, within the code.
I could work out from the map where exactly they were, because it's not particularly clear.
Good word, coverage. Okay, any other points? Councillor Hayes.
Could it be that in the comments it does say about this rare fungi that's growing in the plants, and Kew Gardens have been contacted because of how rare it is? Do you think that's why that's not a priority perhaps, and these other ones are fine to go until we get an answer back from Kew?
To be honest, I have no idea.
It just said in the priority box, see comments, and that was the comment, so I thought maybe that was why it's delayed.
Okay. Thank you.
So is there what's the proposal in terms of this item, please?
Just can I propose that we're happy with the cost for the 4 trees and that will should go ahead.
I'll second that. All those in favour? Any against?
No, yes.
You abstaining? Councillor Chuck, you abstaining?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else abstaining? Thank you.
Okay, and then number 3 there.
So can we defer that? I jumped the gun a little bit because this was referred to the Planning and Environment Committee due to listed building concerns, and it's an ongoing project, and it will come back to the planning at some point.
It will.
Thank you.
Okay, so item 10 is the Wilmore Business Awards. So I don't know if you know much about this. It's an annual event and the businesses sort of compete against each other in about which is the friendliest, which is the most exciting, different categories. Most councils do support one of these awards. It's quite a big event, the awards afternoon, there's probably 100 people there, so it's quite helpful. Things like involved with this. Any other comments?
Would we sponsor a specific?
Yes. I've got a note here. The ones that are vacant are Independent Business of the Year, Outstanding Customer Service, Family Business of the Year, B2B Business of the Year, and Young Entrepreneur Rising Star. So I quite like the young one.
Yeah.
Rising Star. Councillor Bartlett.
Thank you, Chairman. I think from a point of view of town council not being in a position of being biased to any individual or business, I think the young entrepreneur Rising Star would be the safest option for the town council to go with, personally. I'm proposing that.
Sure, not going to second. Yeah.
Okay, so we're proposing that we do go to the scheme and we want to do the young entrepreneur, so. Both Councillor Markets, seconded by Councillor Morgan. All in favour? Nobody against? Any abstentions? No? Okay, good. Correspondence and consultations, item 11. So just a notice of correspondence from member of the public, which is about Dorset Council rather than us. a request from Planning Board. They've written in, because that what they really want to do is to say, I remember Councillor Bartlett's, their representative. Sorry?
The first one, isn't that, typically with Pickens?
Yes, so if I pull the letter up, then we can.
Someone can note.
No, I think we need to, if we consider the letter in terms of, the member of the public that's written in, is specifically written into the town council to ask us if we can do all that we can to encourage Dorset Council to use the Pippin site as somewhere as a car park, basically.
Okay. Councillor Weaver.
My understanding is that, the Pippin site is already earmarked by DC, just from some of, comments Councillor Bart's made in planning environment, so I don't think, unless I'm corrected, that we would be able to make it into a car park. I don't think we would want to do that anyway with that site. Councillor Bartlett.
The Vice Chairman's correct that there is, well, it's already discussions at the moment in Dorset Council is going to form part of a strategic project within the town that will be within the province of Dorset Council, so it won't be available.
Any other comments? Councillor
Yeah, I'm just on the principle about, not knowing what the Dorset Council want to do with it. I think we should wait and see what they say. But also, I'm not sure having more parking is going to resolve the things longer term, because of, the way line of walking is going. I think you've got that, John, that there's going to be less and less need for cars to be parked when we're all in super Uber land.
Just a note that I believe that the member of the public owns a small business district in Wimborne and may have ulterior motives for getting more cars into the town. And maybe that could become a car park.
Other comments? So just note the letter, Councillor.
Oh, I'd be interested to know, Councillor Bartlett may well know, I mean, I'm assuming that Dorset Council do a regular review of parking requirements around towns in their jurisdiction, so I'd be interested to know when that next one might be, because I would far prefer something done across the board than us to ad hoc look at individual parcels of land, which might be set aside for other things, so a proper strategy would be interesting.
Will respond, Councillor Bartlett?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I don't know when they will do the next parking assessment. I know to date that it's always been a view from officers that we have as a market town, significant parking space compared to other market towns, and the requirement within Wimborne, the officers view as adequate to fulfil our needs. However, said that there is more agents gone in, so there, I dare say there will be a further parking assessment done at some point. I don't know. Just going back to the asset in question, there are a number of assets at the moment that are in discussion, and there will be for some considerable years to come. But the estate for Dorset Council is huge, and often the discussions won't come to public domain, the knowledge frankly won't come to public domain because there's commercial sensitivities around it involves land prices and such like, so they are confidential meetings in the most part. Just so that that's sort of picture. If I say something getting frustrated that you're not having the full picture, it's because I can't tell you I'm not committed to.
So is Councillor happy for me to respond just to refer them to Dorset Council?
Yes. Will that?
No, I'm happy with it.
Okay. Yeah, item 2, so this is about Councillor Bartlett, who's a representative of Town of Wimborne, and I think he's a very busy man, and they've seen if someone has perhaps got more time. Come on, Councillor Bartlett.
Yeah, I do, Chairman, and I'm embarrassed to say I've forgotten the gentleman's name. It's in the Bunting's right hand.
Neil Smith?
Yeah. So I did meet him in town a little while back, and I told him that I apologised. I said just for the commitments that I've got in Dorset Council trying to deliver a local plan for you all, as much as you might hate it, when it comes to fruition. I just haven't had the time to exercise that, and it's my fault, and I will speak to them and apologise to her, but I'm happy for the other representatives to take over. It's just sheer, there isn't enough hours in the day, unfortunately. I spent all weekend up country dealing with the local plan, further afield.
I didn't realise that. Councillor Ryan, you have?
Yeah, I'm willing to do it because obviously, given the aims of the council, it's something that needs to be done. But it has a presence. On the other hand, if anybody is more committed to environmental awareness and so on, I'm happy for them to step aside. I mean, I'm obviously interested in the environment, you know, but it's not my life's mission, if you know what I mean. That said, as I say, I'm more than willing to turn up and represent the council and pick up their views and feed them back and so on.
Well, I'm a trustee of Brilliant. I wasn't a trustee of a sort of charity company, but it's a bit difficult for trustee to be a representative, so I'd be really grateful.
Okay, that's fine, I'll do it.
Thank you. So I propose that you do that. A second, councillor Wheeler, all those in favour? Yeah, unanimous. Okay, future meetings, all listed there. Thanks very much, councillor Barton, for cancelling the plans RLBC. If anyone's got a motion for a future meeting, they can email the town clerk. And anything else for join the meeting? Okay, I'll close the meeting at